So we're here on the North Shore, 2019 season, and we got Parker here. He's kind of been thinking about a little series idea to do some candid conversations with people that we meet on the road, and thought Parker would be the first person to do it with, and then we could kind of branch off from our various travels from there. So the road soda over a beverage of choice. Got a little tiki cocktail umbrella drink. Cheers.
Yep.
So yeah, I guess for the last couple months we've been doing all sorts of different stuff, and just thought we could catch up a little bit and hear about what you've been doing.
Yeah, well, I was at home. Normally I kind of would end up going to Europe for a little bit with you guys, either for the events or just trying to go on some surf trips and stuff, but I ended up getting mono, so that kind of sucked.
That threw a wrench in the plan.
Threw a definite wrench in the plan. I was home for pretty much like 3 months, not really doing a whole lot, and then I ended up kind of getting better right before this big Rourke, Alaska trip, and we went up there and hung out in Alaska for a couple of weeks, and ended up getting stuck up there for a little extra long, but got some pretty sick waves and kind of just explored, and pretty interesting to go to a place with a bunch of new potential that I'd never even really thought I'd go on and surfing, so it was really fun.
Pretty crazy. And you were saying that one of the towns you guys went to, what was the name of it?
We're not really supposed to say the name.
Okay, well, how many people live there?
16.
16 people.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of a town.
No, not a whole lot of a town, but that's kind of why it was so cool. It's just, you're way out there, and you're kind of in all the elements, and it's pretty interesting growing up in California. That's where we get all our swell from, so when you go to where it all starts, you see what it starts as, and the storms and stuff were psycho, so it was fun to see.
And you're telling us a little bit, you know, these trips you're doing, they're super awesome and really fun, and there's a lot of highs, and then there's also always some challenges.
For sure.
Because the weather's super cold and gnarly. So what were some of your high points and some of your low points from the trip?
I kind of think just like the more you start going off into the abyss to go try and find waves, it just starts creating a lot more variables. So when things come together, those are the highs, and then when you're kind of going against the flow,
the elements
and stuff, that's when you hit the lows. And I think the trips have been cool for me though, because they definitely, you have to kind of know what you're getting yourself into, and you kind of have to anticipate some highs and some lows and stuff. So it's kind of probably maybe my 5th or my 6th road trip that I've done, so I'm kind of starting to understand the formula a little bit better.
Yeah. Starting
to get a little bit more acclimated to the cold. But
what was that? How cold was it?
I think the water was low 40s. So like between 40 and 45 or something like that. And then we got some snow at the end of the trip and stuff like that. So felt good to come sliding into some board short territory in Hawaii.
For sure. A little bit easier to throw your trunks on and paddle out front than a 6'5" and hood and booties and gloves.
For sure.
I've never done that.
It was pretty legit. It's fun though.
Yeah.
But while I was at home monoboying, you were in Europe.
I was in Europe.
Competing, doing the exact opposite.
What I was doing. You were doing, I did France and Portugal, and I mean, obviously we keep in touch throughout those all the time. We're always talking. Parker's my good luck charm, so we got him here in Hawaii.
I'm a hired caddy.
But yeah, France was fun. We got some sick waves around the event. It was kind of tricky for the contest. A lot of closeouts. A lot of closeouts. I think my third round. You
gotta tell everybody about getting smashed.
Oh yeah, that one time in round 2. I got like kind of dehydrated in the morning. My stomach was a little bit screwed up, and having a hard time keeping hydration in me. So I surfed in the morning. I actually got a really fun tube, and then in my heat, I paddled out, broke my board paddling out for my heat, face planted in the sand, just doing flips. Got in, got my other board, ran out, and I had a full suit on, and the water was actually like way too warm for a full suit. And then I just got my ass kicked the whole heat pretty much, just getting pounded, and so I got super hot. And
was that the heat you got your side slipping left?
I ended up getting like a 9 and making the heat, so that was good. But I came in and I just started to feel so bad. I was so just exhausted.
Yeah.
I think I got some sort of overexertion, dehydration. Maybe they thought I had a concussion. I was pretty much in bed for like 2 or 3 days, just feeling so bad. So yeah, it sucked. And then Portugal was fun.
That's the kind of stuff though that you don't see that goes on a lot behind the scenes of those events. Like the more of those events you end up going to, you end up seeing people get like sick, and you kind of don't really know that people are competing not feeling that good.
For sure.
And then like in France, you think it's just like all good fun beach breaks, but the reality is that it's a 6-foot pounding shore break 5 feet from the sand.
Yeah.
That like everybody thinks beach breaks are like all good and safe and minor. But you end up
They're
getting like
heavy,
the
though.
most demolished on a beach break sometimes. Obviously, you're
Yeah.
not slamming into reef and stuff, but
That's nice. And then
Yeah.
round 3 I lost to Ace, and it was like seriously 2-foot closeouts. I don't know. We couldn't. Neither of us. I think we were fighting for threes.
I think France
That's
was.
crazy.
I think Europe actually in general. Maybe Europe and Hawaii are the 2 hardest places to compete.
Yeah.
More
It
so
changes
Europe
so
actually than
fast.
Hawaii because I think the tide.
Yeah.
Those, dude, you'd be paddling out for your heat, surfing a 1-foot left ripple on the sand, and then all of a sudden it's like an out the back right, a couple 100 yards from the beach. It's so
Crazy.
gnarly.
It's so crazy.
But now we're in Hawaii.
Now we're in Hawaii, yeah, which is a place we've been coming to for, I think, 13 years maybe.
Was this our
Since our
13th
first trip.
season?
Yeah,
Every year since our first season.
every year.
huh?
The first time we came, we both rode for Hurley.
Yep.
Then I was staying at log cabins with them, and you were with Mom and Dad. They came over to make sure I didn't
Get
do
into
anything
trouble.
too crazy.
I stayed at PK's house at VLAM.
Yeah,
Found Ted's Bakery the first morning.
we scored some super fun waves,
Yeah, that was
and
such
we've
a
been
good
coming
trip.
back every year since.
Still my favorite place.
I know. I think this is pretty much my favorite time of the year. I know for me it's nice because we travel all year doing different things now.
For sure.
And I'd like to talk a little bit about that too, but and then we come back to Hawaii and it's kind of a place like everyone's stoked that you're here, and I get to surf in the contest, and I'm happy to have you here caddying and helping me, and
For sure. I like it too. It's fun.
yeah, and then we get to surf a bunch together and hang out, and
Yeah.
pretty much the best program ever.
I think it's the best place in the world to be a surfer.
Yeah.
Like I say that with utmost confidence. There's like 50 world-class waves within a 15-minute drive, and good food, and we
Yeah.
get to be neighbors with all of our friends,
For sure.
which is cool.
Yeah, we met some super cool people over here.
Yeah.
I guess, what are some of the first memories you have of the North Shore? Maybe some classic stories, or staying at the Volcom House later on, and
Yeah.
big
I feel
waves.
like I got a lot of stories, I guess, now that I think about it. Definitely staying at the Volcom House was just like a major highlight for me. I grew up watching all the Volcom movies, and obviously Bruce and Andy were my 2 favorite surfers kind of growing up, and I ended up getting to spend a lot of time in and around a lot of those guys that I kind of grew up watching, and just being on the beach at Pipeline and being around the world's best pipeline surfers kind of just really motivated me at a young age to go try and get good waves, and started surfing out here pretty young, and I kind of just
super young.
yeah, super young.
I remember I surfed pipe the first time that Hurley
That
trip. I think
Hurley
I was
trip.
13, and
Yeah.
Lion paddled out.
and it
took
was
me out.
pretty legit pipe too.
It was huge in the morning, but then in the afternoon it dropped, so that was better. I
Yeah.
was scared shitless. And I was like, how do people
Oh,
even
dude.
surf that?
I swear I get more nervous now though than I
Yeah.
used to when I was little. I think
Me
I
too.
maybe it was just like ignorance is bliss, and the
Yeah.
more years you come here, the more heavy shit you see, and the more
For
you
sure.
kind of like are wary of the dangers or whatever. But
Yeah.
somehow we would like show up. I'd be staying in the dungeon, and we'd just like wake up in the dark and like go try and surf pipe and not get a single makeable wave, but just be like packing closeouts.
Yeah, just eat shit and pulling the closeouts. but
Broke
it's
so many
so
boards.
fun.
Broke so many surfboards.
Yeah.
I broke
know.
9 in one day. That was my record.
9?
9.
What?
Yeah, I ran out of boards, and Dingo started lending me his old Bradleys, and I broke 2
Oh
of
my
his.
god.
And I broke
That's
one
insane.
of Dusty's. Yeah,
That was so crazy.
but I don't know, just the whole scene at the Volcom House growing up, and that was super fun.
Yeah.
Hanging out with Ty. And
Yeah,
Little.
Uncle Ty.
Uncle Ty's like still one of my favorite people to see over here ever, and same
Highly
with
inspired Fat Boy Surf Camp, Uncle Ty.
Ray. Highly
Thanks, Ty.
inspired. I think he introduced us to Show You Chicken,
Yeah,
which is still to this day one of my favorite meals on planet Earth.
yeah.
Him and Uncle Joel Centeo.
Uncle Joel, yeah.
Joel
Joel's
actually
taken
might
care of us forever.
He might have truly shown us Show You Chicken.
Yeah,
He took us to Pupukea Grove for the
for
first
the
time.
first time.
That was
Oh
a
my
pretty
god.
life-changing event,
It really was.
because now we go back every day.
Yeah, every day pretty much when we're here.
Oh, dude. I'm
Spicy tunable.
Oh, yeah. Spicy tuna.
Show
roll,
you chicken.
Show You Chicken. Korea
Yeah.
pork quesadilla with ava if you're having a day on the couch.
Yeah.
Super Bowl meal.
How about one of the scariest, like the most scared you've been on the North Shore?
Most scared I've ever been on the North Shore. Damn. One night we were. Well, there's 2 good nights actually that I got really scared. One night Perry and I were staying in the Jerry house, and we heard this loud bang on the door downstairs, and I was actually upstairs already in bed, and Perry was downstairs. And Perry opened the door, and it was like these bounty hunters looking for this sketchy guy that had been apparently hanging out for the at the Volcom House. And they like busted through the door, and we thought that they were real guns, but turns out that they were just like paintball guns. But they came in super hot with their guns, and Perry, once he figured out that they were paintball guns, started talking shit and stuff. But like when they immediately kind of rushed in the door, it was probably like one of the more scared I've ever been on the North Shore.
For sure.
Just kind of not knowing what was going on and seeing people with guns run in. You're like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then maybe in the water, I don't know. I had a really bad wipeout at Rock Pile.
Yeah, I remember that day we were out there and you got caught inside in Insanities for a long time.
I kind of just went on one wave and got swooped down the beach to Insanities and got like 10 short break waves on the head, and was kind of like finally at that stage where I was kind of running out of air and running out of gas.
Your body starts cramping a little bit.
Yeah, I think we had some beers the night before too, so I was like getting extra crampy.
Yeah.
But then I kind of got pushed out. I don't know. What about you? With the Pat O'Connell sunset day?
Oh yeah, that was scary. I've had a lot.
Yeah,
I've been scared here a lot.
I feel like you kind of end up getting like one every year.
Yeah.
You get one that kind of you remember every year.
That was the first time I ever surfed sunset though, and I think I was like 14, and I paddled out with Pat and Mike Parsons and Alex McGeever, our friend from home, in the dark. And I remember seeing Pipe in the morning thinking like, God, it's huge. It was like third reefing. Like sunset must be massive. And they're like, no, it'll be all good. And I had a 6'8" Dangadowskis board. And
I remember that. It had a peace sign drawn on it.
Yeah, I think it was broken at one point too and fixed. I think I broke it. Or he broke it and fixed it.
Yeah.
Anyways. And yeah, we got out there and I remember kind of thinking like, God, I don't know. It seems like it's going to be big. But we paddled out. It was so dark I couldn't really tell. And then we got out there and it started to get light. And I followed Pat into the deep pit. And I was thinking, God, this feels weird. But I'd never been out there, so I had no idea. And then Snips was like out like 50 yards from us on like a huge freaking 7.6, just stroking out to sea. And that was when I knew. I was like, I am so screwed right now.
You followed the wrong guy.
I followed the wrong guy. Pat and I and Alex took this like, dude, it was like as big as the house, just West Peak on the head. And I remember like thinking, what do I do? And I just ditched and was like climbing my leash up and we got blasted all the way to the sand. I was just baffled.
And then you won Sunset.
Yeah.
So that was your starting point at Sunset Beach, and then you won the contest.
I feel like that's surfing here in a nutshell. It's super humbling. Like, one day you paddle out and you get the wave of your life, and the next day you just get the ass beating of your life. And
I feel like that is so true. Yeah. More so than probably anywhere else in the world.
As soon as you think you have it dialed, you just get
And you still see the best guys get shit kicked out of them.
Yeah, or paddle out in the heat at sunset and barely get one wave.
For sure. Yeah. The ocean here is just on a whole nother level, I think, than anywhere else I've ever surfed.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's my favorite, though. It's just because you never know what you're going to get. Every day there's like something going on that's maybe a little bit different.
For sure. And it's fun from 0 feet to 20 feet.
You could go wave storm, like waist high waves, have the best day ever, and then you could get crazy pipe wave, sunset. We've never done the Waimea thing.
No, I know. We need to.
One day we should do it.
I know, we should. We're babies.
I'm too scared to order a board, though, because then I feel like once you get the board, you're pretty committed to actually like going and doing it.
I had one, and it got broken, and then I didn't have one, so I had an excuse.
Yeah, that's good.
So, North Shore, we pretty much hit on that pretty well. We're here for a little while longer. Might try to get a couple road sodas with some other people and put out some surfing clips.
Yeah.
But besides that, what else is coming up? I mean, we got the holidays, but what are, I know we are reconning the neck fish beard. Give us a little lowdown on that, because I know it's kind of a project you've been working on with Channel Islands.
Yeah, well, for me it's been fun just because I competed a lot for a long time, pretty much from like 9 years old until 21.
Yeah.
And I was pretty single-minded on this. I mean, I guess not really. I was still trying fun boards and stuff like that, but kind of just be able to have some freedom to really like goof off and have some fun. And
yeah, it's harder to find that time when you're competing. It's harder to find the time, yeah. You're looking for your magic shortboard.
I mean, you know more than anybody else. Yeah. Like, it's hard. It's a lot of work and maintenance to be able to make sure that you're showing up with good boards every time. And
yeah.
For me to then kind of take a back step and just kind of like be spending a little bit more time at home and probably surfing a lot of worse waves, I guess, in some sense.
Kind of.
I mean, the QS
surfing
is
pretty
really
bad waves on the QS, but you're doing it on a epoxy
high-performance
groundler,
shortboard, yeah. And so then to just kind of be home and have the freedom to experiment with boards and stuff, I started getting these CI twin fins that I actually loved, and then I brought them to Fiji, rode them a bunch there, and then they redid the Neckbeard 2, and I got this Neckbeard 2 that I like beyond loved. It was like my favorite board of the whole year pretty much, but I kind of had this like little idea to have them come together a little bit and try a similar like neckbeard rocker with just the keel fin setup.
Yeah.
Because I just really like the speed that you get from the keel fin. It's just something super kind of unfamiliar for me to have all that water rushing off the tail, and it's still really high performance, so you kind of have a really good balance of this kind of cruisy, mellow fish with a neck beard that you can launch airs on and fit in the pocket and stuff, and kind of just been working on it with Channel Islands, and everybody's kind of getting some boards now that they're pumped on, and I'm excited to just see guys like you rode your first one the other day.
I was frothing on it.
Yeah, it's
it
fun.
made like a session at the sandbar where it was mushy and totally shitty.
Totally.
That if I took out my 511 here, I would have had the worst, like not a fun surf.
Yeah.
And I had so much fun doing foam climbs and
For
cutbacks
sure.
for an hour.
But like that's kind of what I want to have people experience more so than anything else. Like, I mean, our dad even is like the prime example. Like if he gets up and gets going on a wave fast and does, you know, one just fun kind of high line bottom or top turn into like a good bottom turn, that feels insane.
Yeah.
You know? And I just feel like the more you can get people to have boards complement what they want to do, which is kind of go fast and ride waves.
Whoa! Holy shit, that scared me.
Me too.
Tahitian almond. Jesus.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That was hectic.
Thing hit the lip of my beverage.
That would have hurt.
It would have.
But yeah, I don't know. Fun
Yeah.
surfboards. That's kind of where I'm at.
And,
Having
and it
fun.
might be coming out in March?
Yeah, so Channel Islands, I think, is planning on launching it in March, but we're still just kind of trying to get guys to ride it and give
Dial
all
it
their good
in.
feedback and really make sure that when it does come out that people are going to be getting the best possible design twin fin.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm saying.
Epic.
And you got off season.
I got a couple months. Well, we got Pipe Masters.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta probably make some heats so I have a season next year.
No, you're
But-
just going to get barreled and have
Yeah,
fun.
that's the plan.
You're going to get
I'm
drained. The
very
forecast looks
excited.
pretty good right now.
I think there's definitely gonna be some swell. We'll see it. It's looking a little bit like we got a right point break out there with sand, but I think
more
it'll.
like Cura than pipe
Yeah,
right now.
I think it'll come around. So
Yeah.
I'm super excited. Be fun to have some family time here. Got the grandparents coming over. Parker's here. Parents.
What's your number one thing you're looking forward to in off season?
Gosh, I'm excited to just kind of be home and get on a little bit of a routine. I think around home and relax with my friends and my family and
For
eat
sure.
some good food and definitely surf Rincon and the other waves around home that I don't get to surf the rest of the year.
For sure. It's a
And
good time of
surfing
year to
wise,
be
I'm
home.
kind of excited to just get to surf and not have to be thinking about getting ready for an event and just being able to work on my surfing and enjoy it and
For sure.
work on some new stuff.
I feel like, I mean, not necessarily you, but just people in general on the tour, like, just kind of comes with a lot of judgment. Like, not necessarily from other people, but even from your own judgment. Like, you're always kind of making calculated decisions and
Yeah.
stuff. So it's nice to just have that point where you can
Free
really just,
slate,
like,
yeah,
completely cruise, huh?
totally, yeah. And just, I don't know, nice to just surf with nothing coming up that you're preparing for. Trying to dial in a lineup just to be able to go out and just surf and let it flow
Yeah.
all the time.
Kind of just
It's
go
gonna
back
be
to
nice.
the basics.
Yes,
Ride some twin fins with
for
your brother.
sure. Hopefully get some barrels.
That's what I like to hear.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess that pretty much catches us up. First
Yeah.
road soda in the books, and
Well,
I mean,
there's going to be plenty more of these because these taste good,
pretty
and we got a
fun.
lot of cool friends
Pretty
that we
fun.
know around the world that we're going to start talking to.
yeah, definitely want to get some more good conversations going on, and
You should actually comment who you want to see on the road
Yes.
soda below.
it's a good idea.
We'd be interested.
Kind of thinking we might get Griffin while we're here on the North Shore.
Yeah.
Plenty of people around, and just try to get some interesting insight, I think, into people and what they're doing and stuff that you don't get to see through the contests. And the worlds of social media can be a bit idealistic, and try to get down to some of the real shit here.
I think one of the coolest part about surfing has always been the characters that are in the surf world.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like diverse people within such a small little umbrella, and
Yeah.
feel
We're
like
gonna
the
try to
more-
uncover some of those through
Yeah.
this, definitely.
maybe if we get lucky, we could get someone like Mason on here.
Oh, that would be
like,
fun.
yeah, he's on the
Yeah.
A list. Of who we
Uncle
could
Ty
get.
would be pretty good too.
Ty.
So,
We got more action.
yeah, I guess that sums up our first road soda, and thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll be coming back at you.
More road sodas coming your way.
Woo.
Cut!